So this car is a dirt track oval car that's owned by a friend of mine, and his son drives it. And they race at the Muskegon County Speedway and Midway Speedway, which are both out around the Zanesville, Ohio area. And they got the thing out for the first race of the year, and his boy kind of kissed the wall with the right rear tire in practice, and then once again in the feature. And let's just say his suspension's pull-out skills are a little bit better than his. Speaking of skills, he doesn't quite have the fabrication skills to confidently take on something like this, so he asked me to help him out with him. And we're going to be trying to fix this so that this ain't moving around anymore. I believe he's already replaced this lower link because I think it was bent. But we're going to have to actually take some of this stuff loose and then determine how much of this we're going to have to cut out to actually properly fix it. Well, obviously, their problem wasn't just that he was just a little overzealous in his first time out for the year and overdriving the car a little bit, but also because of rust taking hold, making all this area pretty weak. So, but that's, first gen neon, you're going to find something that you're going to make a race car out of. You're going to have rust in it somewhere here in this area of the country. So now we need to decide how we're going to tackle this. Now, if I did this my normal way that I would work on things, I would end up spending way too much time on this thing and making it way too nice for just a Saturday night dirt track racer that they're just out there having fun with. We could literally, though, just cap this thing, capture these and weld around here and not really cut much apart if we didn't want to. Part of how we decide to do it will depend on how this looks after I clean it up. We're going to take a knotted wire brush on a 4.5 inch grinder, clean this up, see what's left. And then when my buddy gets here, we'll make the final decision based on his input of how we're going to actually handle it. So after hitting this thing with the wire brush and going ahead and drilling the spot welds out of this support plate here and getting it out of the way, it really didn't open up any real big holes or anything. It's not any worse than I would have expected it to be. But yeah, we got obviously from rust from behind. It's stress cracked all the way up here and all the way up here. And it's kind of, no wonder it collapsed a little bit. We might end up just keeping it pretty simple and putting a plate over the, a new piece over this, welding it to here and out into here somewhere, and then capping the whole thing. Or we could go really crazy and cut this whole thing out, and remake the whole center section. We'll see. My buddy's not quite here yet. And since it is his car and his son driving it, I want him to make the final call on the options that we have available. So after my buddy got here and we talked over all the options and how we can do it, this is what he opted to do. We're just putting a patch panel up over top of this out of 16 gauge, which is actually heavier material than the original crossmember was anyway. We're going to weld this in place, and then we're going to cap the whole thing, welding from here to here with another piece of 16 gauge around the whole thing. And once we weld it around here and around here, it should be just as strong, if not stronger than it was before. So this is how we're going to be finishing this up, is after putting that other piece on underneath here and getting everything pretty solid as rust-wise, then we went ahead and make another cap here or another piece here to cap this. I'll make another one and put on this side. We'll finish welding this out and weld the two pieces together. That'll make this crossmember plenty strong. Get him back out on track and having fun again without putting so much work into it that if he ends up, say, tearing the car up really bad later this year, it's not like a huge loss that we put, 10 hours into really rebuilding this thing, looking nice and pretty and proper. No, this is just a nice, strong, relatively quick repair, gets them back on track. This is just a Saturday night dirt track car that they're just having fun with, and you know, they've already tore up a couple of these, and you know, any given night you could tear it up and it could be done for. So yep,